Yo, what up? Watashi wa danger done. Now I return. Some more Guiltygear-Strive action. And first match, picking up from where we left off yesterday, starting up that Heaven Challenge for the third time in 4 videos, I think, something like that. It's been a couple times. Y'all see, we keep showing back up. They kick us out, we show right back up. This match against Kai. So, I'm pretty confident in the Kai matchup, just because I fought Kai the most, like literally fought him the most out of any character in the game. And I know there's some things I can do against him, so I don't usually feel unequipped, or should I say under-equipped when I'm fighting Kai. I feel pretty good about it. That being said, still not beating every single Kai fight. Oh. Ugh. So funny enough, I did that Vortex late anyway. Granted, he did stop his momentum, so I didn't do it. I didn't hold it too long. I just didn't go it fast enough. Anyway, that was the last round. Damn. So you can Vortex that charge, but you have to do it while he's charging. The mistake that I continue to make is that I wait for it to already be released, because he recovers pretty quickly off that, since it takes so long for it to start up. So you have to attack him while he's charging it. Through the wall we go. Alright. So any move that lands flat on the ground like that, you don't want to RC. You fast RC. Which is not what happened there. I was meant to just land 6H, continue pressure. That would have been much smarter than what happened. Alright. Dropped the first game. Can't afford to lose anymore. Let's see what's happening. So, from time to time, it's interesting how you can see yourself change pace in the match. You know, just because you either lost the first game and are probably thinking about losing the next one. So you play with a bit more caution. A lot more gingerly than before. That's what I'm noticing here. So that is an issue I have from time to time. In losing a match and then suddenly giving the opponent too much respect in the next match. Not so much because you're afraid of what they did or what was happening, but more so because you don't feel like the things that you're doing at the time will work. Have a throw there. You probably get that pretty open on Kai, playing Soul especially, because Kai's really passive at the start. If he's not gonna 6P at the beginning, that was good bad. And death. Perfect. See that open. Let's rock. That was weird. You saw that, right? You saw that 5H. I mean, that jump heavy hit, but it didn't actually hit. I had mentioned that the other day. That happens from time to time. It'll almost be like a ghost hit, you know? Like the hit will register on my screen and I'll feel it in my controller, but I didn't actually get the hit. It's the weirdest thing. I know that it happens in matches where it lags typically. Blocking this, obviously. Wow. So I threw him there because I didn't want him to burst. Did you hear that counter? You heard that, right? I'm certain you just heard him say counter when my far slash landed. But he was blocking. Shout outs to the lag. Unfortunately, we couldn't close that out, which is really bad. When we RC that Gunflame, the smart thing to do would have been to run up and grab Because in that situation, the flawless defense would have made the gun flame end on block quicker. But back to hell we go. To fight our way back up. Yeah. So seeing yourself lose at the same point over and over again, it gets to a point where two things are going to happen. You're either going to keep losing or you're going to get tired of losing. And you just going to win. There's not really any more explanation to it than that. You just win. You know? You do whatever it is that you got to do to make that happen. And you might not know what that is at the time. You know, because you can practice, you can train. And that's all well and good. You should do that. You should always be ready. But every situation is going to require something different of you that you can't know until the situation actually occurs. You know? It's like you can see yourself mess up at something over and over again. And you might not even do anything differently the time that you finally succeed, other than just unconsciously make the decision that you're going to get it done. You know, where it's just like failure builds you up. It's not meant to break you down. You know, like it does suck when things don't go right. But I do my best to just think about it as, you know what, that didn't work this time. That doesn't mean it doesn't work at all. You know? Like, a thing that I do for myself, and a thing that I'm fortunate enough to have people to do for me, is I do everything I can to just like positively reinforce myself. You know, because I have a history of losing confidence in the game quick and doubting everything that I'm doing and halting my progress because of that. It hasn't happened that often in this game because I'm learning to level myself pretty quickly. And again, as I mentioned before, I'm fortunate to have people in my corner that encourage me as well, that know how I can be pretty hard on myself. You know, I'm not the type to give myself a lot of credit. It's just not something I've been about. But in this game especially since this game is new, and this is a lot of people, including myself, first real Guilty Gear experience, it's just like, it's easy to get polarized when you see all the tournaments and the content creators on YouTube, on Twitch, and they're doing really well with the characters, and you might make it to the celestial floor, and you might see these ridiculously high levels, or at least, you know, they seem ridiculous. You know, 700, 800, 1,000. Soon is going to be even more severe. Like in a couple of months, you're going to see people with characters at level 2,000, 3,000. You know, by the end of this game, niggas are going to reach the max level, which is probably 9,999. That would actually be hilarious. Because I know in Beta 2, the max level was 1,000 if I'm not mistaken. But clearly they removed that. But if this really goes RPG style and the level caps when the number can't go up anymore, that'd be hilarious. But it's easy to get polarized by all of that. You know, it's easy to lose confidence because, like myself, you make it to the celestial floor, or you just make it to a slightly higher floor. Maybe you're not at the 10th floor yet. Maybe you're working your way up from the 6th floor, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. But it's easy to get discouraged. You know, it's certainly easy for me to get discouraged. You know, like this was the very next game. Alright, so you see against that Kai, we had lost, and it was unfortunate. In the very next game, which is against this Milia, you see it's a 3-0. And that's not to take anything away from the Milia, and it has nothing to do with the matchup either. This is a simple matter of someone playing with more confidence as opposed to less. You know, it's like you always want to tell yourself that there is no losing. You know, it sounds cliche perhaps, but you really can't think about it as losing. You gotta think about it as learning. Like, you really have to, Because if you think about it as losing, then you're going to start to dislike the game. And you're probably not going to play it anymore. Or want to play it anymore. You know, I've been there myself. You know, I've been at moments where I just don't want to play the game because things aren't going well. Confidence is just plummeting. Either that or it doesn't exist at all. You know, and you start to tell yourself, like, you know, maybe I'm not really as good as I think I am, or as good as I would hope to be. You know, but always remember, if you're not losing every single match, I mean every single match, I don't care who you fight. If you're not beating at least one person, then sure, you can have that, oh, I can't do it attitude. But if you're getting at least one win a day, there's something there. Feel me? Just keep working at it. Regardless of how many times, because I have failed this damn Celestial Challenge more times than y'all have seen on camera. Far more. I think I'm in the double digits, actually. But I didn't give up. And I'm not going to. Oh, that was a good grab. That was not. Try to grab me too soon. Oh, that was weird. That was a really weird interaction. I know that's his close slash, and I know that's his far slash. Oh, that was odd. About as odd as that. Is that me? Apologies for that freeze frame. That was strange. I didn't know that was still happening. Thought I had corrected that issue. Yeah, my whole point is, don't give up. Keep fighting. You know, regardless of the situation. As long as you're alive, it can get better. That was really sweet. People usually react to that feint a lot quicker than I would expect them to. I don't know if they were gonna press anyway, because a lot of people do press buttons on the actual flame. That was the hardest of reads, I guess. Like, what did you think I was going for? That was. Alright, we about to find out if that was a good burst or a bad one. It was a bad one. I really got a purple RC on that revolver. That's the second time that happened. Not in this fight, but in this video. That's an odd mistake to be making. Very odd mistake. I'm gonna interrupt the first game with pot. Mega Fist. Oh. You know, this game is interesting because it's changing my perspective on characters that I dislike fighting. Historically, I play the same archetype of character pretty much every game. I usually play a rushdown style. That's just who I am. Who I prefer. I don't like playing anywhere else. But in this, rather, traditionally, in older games that I've played, I always dislike fighting zoners the most. Like, I hate characters that zone for the passion. And that's not the case in this game. I think it's because there aren't as many traditional zoners in this game. Like, Axel's the only real zoner. He doesn't zone with fireballs, which is what I'm used to. Try to throw again. Yeah, he doesn't try to zone with fireballs, but he still zones. It's still annoying. But I don't hate fighting Axel, because even though when the screen is full, he can give you a hard time. There, they got thrown there. When you get him in the corner, and once you get close to him, he doesn't really have anything to do. Like, if he doesn't have Zuko or Burst, he got to guess between getting hit and getting thrown. I allowed that to happen. That was a strange moment of passivity. Not a fan of that. I don't like that at all. Alright. Down 0-2. We already lost the set. At this point, just fighting for pride. That was interesting. Didn't even Kara that. Most Zemkins usually Kara the Buster at the round start. You still avoid it though, just step back. Just don't press a button. If you press a button, you're gonna get thrown. That fucking Potemkin Buster starts up, what is it, 5 frames? It is a 5-frame command grab. That's just crazy. I saw that number and I was just like, wow, that's kind of cool. And then super. That's odd. I had mad meter. Yo, did you hear this nigga just now when he was flying? I never actually listened that close to it. He was like, oh. Nigga sounded like he was slipping on the floor. But yeah, funny enough, I no longer dislike fighting the zoners. I'm also just dislike fighting the really annoying hyperactive characters. Like, the character I dislike fighting the most is May. And I think right after her, yo, if that super actually hit you on the ground, that would have been a good reaction. But now we know, without a doubt, that even if he's right in front of you, if you're on the ground, that shit won't touch you. I guess it's the trade-off for all that damage. Oh. Didn't get the button fast enough there. Yeah, punish that. And kill him. Down you go. But yeah, that's gonna do it. Completed the 1-week streak, and I'm quite pleased about that. But we're gonna continue the run on Monday, and we may be there sooner than you think.